Is this what Build Back Better looks like? No student loan debt forgiveness, which was promised. No $2,000 in COVID relief, which was another lie presented as a promise. And if anybody asks me in the comments with,
but 600 plus 1,400,
I will block them. Still no comprehensive strategy for Ms. Rona. Oh, and no $15 minimum wage, which already wasn't enough. They couldn't even bump the minimum wage to a number that was still too low. Did manage to squeeze in bombing Syria in the first 60 days, as well as giving police more money after a widespread, sustained demand to reduce, defund police and military budgets in favor of social services. Oh, and lest we forget, they also tacked on rebranding kids in cages as migrant detention facilities. We did it, Joe! By the way, what is up, family? I haven't talked to you guys in so long. I just was doing my makeup and figured I'd cut on the camera. A lot of things pissing me off right now, so I figured I may as well vent while I get ready. I'm getting ready for a Zoom party with my Patreon family, so I figured I'd just squeeze in a quick rant, quick little tea talk. To be fair, all politicians abandon their campaign promises pretty much immediately after they've been elected. And yet, we continue. We continue this farce of alternating blue ties and red ties instead of burning this shit down. So that's the American public doing a whoops for a few centuries and counting. This road is linear and predictable, and yet people think we're really going to achieve change by doing the same things over and over and over. So it looks like these politicians, including and especially the Democrats, have already started laying the pipe for the Drumpf 2024 campaign, or someone just like, perhaps worse than him. Believe you me, there are plenty more Drumpfs, Reagans, and Nixons just waiting in the wings. We are not as far off as people think from there being another Birth of a Nation movie night at the White House. Things keep on keeping on like this. Because that's where this is going. That's what's going to happen. I mean, what else can these politicians be doing? And again, this includes and perhaps especially is referring to the Democrats. What can they be doing if not essentially guaranteeing some version of a Drumpf 2.0? In Georgia, they're already getting a jump on ramping up their voter suppression, which is retaliatory. Georgia flipped and went blue in the election, so now they're rolling out bizarre laws to stop people from being able to vote with this bill that would have fit in rather seamlessly with the black codes of the Reconstruction era. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link a video that Kim Jones posted on her Instagram where it kind of explains everything that's going on down in Georgia. Long story short, it's just been you after you after you to people who are losing their jobs, losing their homes, have no health care, have no safety net, and who were living hand to mouth before Rona. This would be so much more maddening than it already is if it wasn't completely predictable. There are plenty of folks who made it clear that this was exactly what was going to happen back in 2019 and frankly well before that. That this is what vote blue no matter who would look like. As fun as it was for me to get called out my name, threatened, cyber stalked, for being one of the plenty, for being a neo-Marxist who warned that this was coming, personally, I've never wished I've been wrong about something more in my entire life. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working my ass off, saving up my money, because I gotta go. I am 1 year into my 3-year, or at least my original 3-year plan to emigrate, but it would be really great to be out of here before midterm elections because, wow. And I want to live. I want to live. Really live, not just get by. Live and have happiness and freedom and peace. And it is clear to me I have no choice but to leave. It is urgent. The type of revolt it would take to bring this system to an end, I don't see it happening. I don't think it's realistic to expect there to be one day where the whole country, let alone the whole world, decides to rise up together in a, synchronized, coordinated effort to fight for liberation and destroy the systems of racism and, of course, capitalism to which that is cleaved. Even the super duper easy, almost zero effort shit like signing a petition. I have the data. Some of y'all know I'm pretty active on Instagram, particularly stories every day, to help share information. But I don't even see what I'd call accessible resistance being utilized very much, like boycotts and local organizing. Doing the bare minimum to resist is, for many, apparently too much. Again, I actually have these data, at least anecdotally, because I share a lot of things like petitions and social justice toolkits, phone scripts, and when you add a swipe up link to anything, whether it's a petition, whatever, if it's a swipe up link on Instagram, the person posting it can see how many people actually swiped up. And I just shared one the other day where it was for a pre-addressed, pre-written email petition template to fill out. It takes you less than 60 seconds to do it, and I said as much in my story. By the way, I'm using my friend Mel Thompson's Tiny Marvels palette because spring is just around the corner and this palette just screams springtime to me. Of course you can use it whenever, like it's a very versatile palette. Just look at it, super verse. But yeah, I feel like this is what I want to wear on a nice approaching spring day. Anyway, as I was saying, just the other day, I shared a swipe up link on my stories that led to a pre-addressed, pre-written email petition template to fill out. And if I was sharing it, obviously I felt it was for an extremely worthy initiative, a worthy effort. And I imagine the people who f with me heavy enough to watch my goddamn Instagram stories must, care about what I think is important, right? Why else would you be watching my stories? Now, I get on average somewhere in the range of like 700 to 1,000 people looking at a typical story frame that I'll post, right? Not an impressive amount, but there's some folks up in there on a regular basis. That's about the size of my high school. Now, out of that 700 to 1,000 on a typical story frame, do you want to guess how many people actually hit swipe up on that? Again, super quick, takes you less than 60 seconds for an actual stopping gentrification, social justice type of situation. 25. I don't know how many actually followed through after swiping up, by the way. I just know that only 25 people were just like, 60 seconds, let me at least investigate. Which, to be honest, to me is a surprise because that's actually higher than what it usually is. Whenever I post a petition or something similar, it's usually even less than that. The most easy, passive, instant gratification possible, and also the least effective in my opinion, but that's another story, is just signing a petition. And typically, I'm lucky if I get about 3% of folks to do even that. And I understand the temptation to just give up because I see how many people already have.
I'm not even going to bother signing this petition no matter how quick and easy it is because we've already lost.
By the way, I've now dipped into this Pat McGrath. I forgot what this is called, but I'll link it before. It was from her holiday collection. People on the whole are so conditioned to, at this point, just not just accept, but expect abuse and exploitation from the ruling class. I think a lot of people legitimately thought that Joe Biden was a step toward liberation. An actual step toward liberation would be something like a general strike. A general strike would be one massive way to wield the power that we actually have. I always like to think of, I'll put it here, this little piece of street art whenever I start to despair. Unfortunately, a general strike, that ain't gonna happen. I mean, people won't even stop buying from Amazon, for f***'s sake. It's at a point where now, when people in my life buy something from Amazon, they confess to me. It's weird. It's as if I'm some overzealous anti-Amazon kook and they're sorry for upsetting me personally. It's bizarre. I truly don't understand why people feel like they need to apologize to me. I'm telling you guys, this happens weekly. It happened with one of my family members just the other day. And I'm just like, why are you telling me this? Am I supposed to absolve you? Robert Reich posted yesterday that Jeffy Bezos makes $2,500 per second. I don't know if that figure is accurate, but Reich is a pretty credible guy. And more to the point, I don't care enough to vet that figure because the fact that it could be true says it all. Meanwhile, his employees don't even make a living wage in most cases. Amazon actively thwarts any attempts for workers to unionize by firing anyone who even tries it. I am encouraged by the traction that the folks organizing the Alabama Amazon Workers Union, I'm encouraged by that, at least, to see that they're getting some traction. The warehouse workers don't have health care or safe working conditions, and you kind of don't want those two circumstances to coexist, especially when you consider that their warehouse injury rates are double the national average. They don't give their employees PPE, I'll say allegedly, and people have died, and I'm talking several people. Lashes, BRB. Okay, lash glue is still drying, y'all, so just try to ignore that, but I gotta start my Zoom party in less than 10 minutes, so I need to wrap it up. But while I was doing my lashes, I just got to thinking about Pouchon Brown, who was working at Amazon at a warehouse in Virginia, if I remember correctly. And they had her testing other Amazon employees for COVID for months, dozens of whom tested positive, when she was not given any PPE, again, I'll say allegedly, nor was she a medical professional. And she died back in January under rather mysterious, suspicious circumstances, and it's been hardly reported at all for the reasons you can imagine. I mean, Bozos owns a freaking major newspaper. All the pieces matter. And y'all still out here doing Amazon favorites videos. Cool, got it. If all of the things that we already know about just this one corporation, if that's not enough for you to take your business elsewhere, then I don't know what it's going to take for people to stop buying from Amazon, and therefore what Amazon customers should be saying to me is nothing. That's your choice. You deal with it. It has nothing to do with me. There's no ethical consumption, yada. We know. I still buy mouthwash and dish detergent at Target, and I get my dog's chicken jerky and gas for my car from Costco, and they're shit too. They're all shit. I guess I'm just talking about a baseline amount of resistance, you know, when it comes down to doing one or two things that are easy to do instead of doing nothing. Don't buy from Amazon. That's one thing you can do. I don't know why this notion is eccentric, and it's certainly not hard. There are plenty of things in life that are hard. Boycotting a blatantly terrible, abusive company that literally doesn't care if their employees live or die, that's not hard. And obviously, I'm not talking about people with disabilities who rely on Amazon for one reason or another, and I do mean literally, not practically, not almost. I'm talking about people who literally have no other suitable option to get things that they need to live. There is, of course, the bigger problem there, which is that anyone should be reliant upon Amazon and only Amazon to get the things they need. That in and of itself is a symptom of a bigger problem. The point is, the acquiescence to this abysmal status quo is why we keep continuing down this road. We can't even have solidarity on the easy shit, on agreeing to at least start somewhere, you know, just doing at least one thing together, like boycotting one company. So more ambitious resistance, as with things like such as a general strike, don't to me seem possible. Y'all feeling the harm reduction yet or nah? I am going to quickly throw on a lip and do the awkward slow-mos while we transition.
If you came to prove, there's no reason to prove.
As you can see, I just went with clear lip gloss because, girl, I ain't got time. I am officially late, 2 minutes late, and I'm a punctual host, so this is bothering me, but I'm late for my Zoom party with my patrons, so I gotta go. Thank you for hanging out with me all the way to the end. Stay safe, stay dangerous, and never trust anyone with a Morphe code. Bye-bye.
That's a nappy-headed hose there, I'm gonna tell you that now.